Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Creative Writing. My name is Joey Cole, and I'm the guy on the other side and beyond who's going to help guide you through this class and hopefully make it a very enjoyable experience. Yes, this is the beginning of a very silly video. It's going to contain important information. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the class, and I'm going to answer burning questions that have been submitted so far. Just to make it incredibly fun, I'm going to change up these photos because I found this incredible little video editing thing called Blabberize, by the way. And I am going to pull various photos from Facebook to talk to you and answer all of your questions that you have so far. This is me, by the way, on an average day at Pulaski Tech. What you'll see coming is quite different. Bam! Surprise! See? Told you. So, a lot of the information about the class will actually come from the burning questions that you posed. So let's go with burning question number 1. The writer writes, "My only burning question I have to ask is what kind of creative writing subjects will this course consist of?" Well, if you're talking about generally what are you going to write about and the kind of things that you're going to write about, that is completely up to you. What I like to do is to allow you the freedom to explore what you want to explore, and as is often the case, you write to your obsessions. And for me to try to interfere with that too much is to force you to make some bad writing. So what I want you to do ultimately is to select the topics, the things that you want to write about, and explore those things. Now, there's a burning question coming up if this question is actually asking what kind of things specifically, genre-wise, we're going to write about, but we'll get to that in a moment. I know a big burning question was, how many research papers will we be writing? The answer, none. We will be doing some reflective writing, but I know those of you who have potentially been scarred by Comp 2 will be relieved to know that you don't have to deal with major research papers. We're here to write creatively. So, I hope that alleviates any and all fear of the 15-page research paper, which is not part of this class. Someone wants to know about the French maid outfit. The only thing I can tell you is ask your dad. I have a whole family of folks, by the way, that I've had in classes over the years. It's very exciting. It's become a family tradition. You, too, can have your friends, neighbors, mothers, sons all come forward and take the class. It's exciting. Why? Because you get weird videos like this. Another burning question. Will this course include writing poetry? The answer, yes. We are going to actually begin our discussion, as some of you have already seen, with poetry. It's the oldest form of writing. It is something that is very important to understand. Many of you may not like it, and I'm sure it's because you had a terrible experience in school at some point and you read a lot of really bad poetry by people you cared nothing about. I'm going to try to introduce you to some poetry that I think you will enjoy, be engaged by contemporary writers, people who are actually alive today. And I think you will get a clearer sense of what poetry really is and what poetry can be. So, poetry will be part of the class. It will not hurt you. I hope you will enjoy it. You'll learn something about it, and then if you decide that you're firmly rooted in fiction writing or writing in another genre, hey, that's okay. At least you gave it a go. So, with a snap of my fingers, and so, the next burning question on the list is, what type of works will this course bring? Poems, stories, and/or screenwriting? The answer, my friends, is D, all of the above. We will mainly focus on poems and stories, short stories in particular, but when we start talking about that, we'll actually be talking about narratives and narrative structure. That sort of discussion leads its way to discussions of the novel, screenwriting, playwriting. So really it's kind of open to all of you. We can talk about any of the genres if you have interest in it. Typically we focus in on poetry at the beginning, then we'll move into short stories and narrative, and then depending on your interest we can go into discussion of the other genres. Typically I invite everyone to write something in at least 2 genres. I think this is important because, well, you never really know. You may think that you're a poet, but you've never tried fiction writing. You may think that you're a fiction writer and you've never tried poetry. You may think that you are one of these and you've never even considered playwriting, screenwriting, or any of the other genres for that matter, and we can talk about anything that you want to talk about. There's going to be an area in the discussion where you can bring additional questions and additional points if you want to talk about writing for children, juvenile fiction. All of these topics are fair game, and as soon as you bring it up, we will talk about it. The next burning question: is this an easy course that will keep a smile on my face the entire semester? Am I going to reach out to you for help and a quick response? Well, hopefully this video will indicate that I will do my best to keep a smile on your face the whole semester. Is it an easy course? Let me put it this way. If you do everything that I ask you to do, you log in consistently, you participate in the discussion actively, you show some bit of ambition and some bit of effort, yeah, it's a pretty easy course. If you don't log in, you don't do the work, you're consistently late, you don't really care, or at least pretend to care, then it's not as much of an easy course. But if you'll hang with me, because I ramble, I repeat myself, and as you'll find out very soon, there are essentially 14 things, and you'll see this soon, the 14 things that I want you to learn by the end of the semester. And if you can get that, you are fantastic. Why? Because that is the foundation for creative writing. It is also, in a lot of ways, the foundation for all writing. This is a life success course, ladies and gentlemen. And really, do you think this little guy would steer you wrong? It's me. I'm little. And if you reach out to me for help, I am always here. In a quick response, I will do my best. If you send me a message, I typically try to respond to you as quickly as humanly possible. In the discussion area, sometimes I will let things go for a little while. It's not that I'm absent. I'm monitoring, watching, paying attention. And then when the time is right, I will jump in and make things happen. So, trust this little guy when I say, hopefully, this will be a fantastic class. Now, let me give you some quick information while I'm still little me about the class and how it works. We're going to start laying the foundation for some of the writing here at the beginning. We're going to talk about some of the how-tos and what's needed and get some sort of idea of what all this writing stuff is and how it works. And then we're going to move into workshopping your writing. You're going to share your writing. We're all going to get together and we're going to read it and we're going to discuss it and we're going to give you feedback. And you're going to get good, honest feedback. And that's how this is going to work. So, buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be an exciting ride. The next couple of burning questions kind of go together. So I thought I would put those together and then offer up a response. The questions are: what is your academic background, Mr. Cole? And how did you end up as a creative writing professor? So, let me try to answer that together. I'm going to go all the way back. Are you ready? My whole educational background. I went to David O'Dodd Elementary. That's in Little Rock. I went to J.A. Fair High School when it was 7th through 12th grade. Shocker. Go War Eagles. And once I graduated from J.A. Fair High School, I went on to the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, UALR. I got a scholarship there. I, along with my brother, are first-generation college students. No one else in our family had gone to college. So I, like many of you, had a bold new adventure ahead of me. I, at first, was majoring in theater and minoring in English, creative writing. And I decided halfway through that I was going to flip-flop those around, mainly because I didn't want to take the dance class that was required of theater majors. And so thus I became a theater minor, almost a major, and an English major with an emphasis in creative writing. Now, I had creative writing when I was in high school, and it was not a pleasant experience at all. The teachers had really no clue what they were doing. We did many worksheets. It was miserable. But I did have a great and inspirational teacher while I was there, my drama teacher, who encouraged me and actually changed a lot of things about who I am and how I am, up to and including how I speak, because she beat the country accent right out of me. Not that there's anything wrong with a good Southern accent. I kind of love it and kind of miss it. But if you can imagine this voice at one time in the 10th grade, talking quite like this, I'd say 100 and get, and it was very thick, and she came to me and she said, you cannot say get, it must be get. You cannot say 100, it must be 100. And so she would make me pronounce things over and over again until she finally almost erased that thick accent. But she is the one who stirred me to have a desire to become a teacher because, hey, I wanted to be just like her. When I was at UALR and I was nearing the time to graduate, one of my professors pulled me aside and said, hey, what are you planning on doing next? I said, well, I think I'm going to go into teaching. He said, well, you could go and get a Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing. I said, oh, what is this? And he said, well, it's a degree that will allow you to teach at the college level. It's a terminal degree, which means it's the highest in its field. I said, hey, sounds good to me. And so off to Louisiana State University I went. And there I spent 3 years studying creative writing. The program there actually covers a lot of territory, so I studied poetry, fiction, playwriting, screenwriting, in addition to lots and lots of literature. And so, with my Master of Fine Arts degree in hand, and after working at that time at a literary magazine called New Delta Review as the poetry editor, I promptly moved back to Little Rock because the same said professor said come back to UALR and teach. So I started teaching at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, creative writing and composition classes. And in 1999, I was looking through the newspaper, and there it was, Pulaski Technical College, English position. And so I went for it. So that's what kind of led me to where I'm at today. My educational background, in addition to serving as associate editor of Crazy Horse while I was at UALR. And here I am for almost now the past 15 years. And guess what? I love it. So, these next set of questions were quite amusing. And to be honest with you, I actually tried to look up some answers. What the heck does hunka hunka burning love mean? Well, I found some disturbing things when I tried to search for the answer, but essentially, you know, hunk, burning love. But if you do a search, you too can find all the disturbing things. Why does the burnt bacon smell for so long after it's been burned? I found on my search many ways to remove the burnt smell, but no explanation as to exactly why the burnt smell is so bad. I would assume it's something about the carbon and, salty pork, but I'm a writing guy. I know nothing about odorology. I think I just made that up. Where did the expression burn notice come from? Tried to look that one up too. Apparently it's something about military and burn everything and communiques that are distrusted from one source to another. That's the best I got. The real question, though, that comes up next: where's a good place to get chicken and waffles in Little Rock besides Cheddar's? I actually don't really know a solid answer for this one, but let me tell you this. The best chicken? Gus's. If you have not tried Gus's chicken, you should try it immediately. In downtown Little Rock, it is absolutely the best chicken I have eaten. I had it in Memphis. It was fantastic. I actually took another trip to Memphis just to get the chicken. So my recommendation, go to Gus's, get some chicken, stop by the Waffle House, get you a couple of waffles, go home, and have a feast fit for a king or queen. And the final question: what is creative writing? That is a fascinating, loaded, and very complicated question. I've actually heard this one posed through my journey, my educational journey. Let me give you a brief answer. It is writing creatively. Exactly. See, that's no answer at all. Creative writing, by definition, is not technical writing. It is not expository writing. Typically, if we're going to define this, it is writing in the creative genres. Again, poetry, fiction, screenwriting, playwriting, and the like. And really, you know what? This is the question that we're going to answer during this whole semester. You'll get answers. Coming soon to a video near you. Alright, gang. So, my happy video crazy montage answering your burning questions. Part 1. I'm so excited about the class. I'm so excited about writing. I love teaching. It's the greatest thing ever. I actually really enjoy making these wacky videos, and I hope that you take all of this with both a smile and with the understanding that even though all of this is wacky and goofy and fun, we really are talking about some serious stuff, and we're going to continue to get serious as we go along, even though a South Park character is telling you at the close of this video, everything is going to be okay. We're going to have a great time. You're going to learn a lot. If you have any questions, always ask. And with that, I bid you adieu.